Hello and welcome to the NCBI Labs channel. Now, over the last few weeks, we've been looking at how we can get the most out of the Google Home smart speaker. And one of our NCBI Labs trainers, Joe Lonergan, has been looking at the different functions of the Google Home device.
Hello and welcome to this demonstration of the Google Home. I will be demonstrating this on the Google Nest Home Mini. And this has the Google Assistant installed, and it gets a lot of its information from the Google search engine. As you can see, for those who can see, it is a small voice activated speaker, and it is circular. It's got touch sensitive buttons. On the left hand side we have volume down. On the right hand side we have volume up. And in the middle we have play/pause, and that also hangs up and answers phone calls. This can be placed on a table, or it can even be hung on the wall. Also on the back, on the side actually, near the back, it has a slider switch.
The mic's off.
That turns on and off the mic. So I'll be advising you to turn your mic off, as I'll be saying the wake word a lot, which is "Hey Google" or "Okay Google." So these can be bought in any electrical store, such as Harvey Norman, Curry's, Littlewoods, DID. It can even be bought in Tesco's, and they're retailed at approximately €60 or less, and the previous version can be bought for as little as €25. So what do we need to set up this device? We need a Wi-Fi connection. We need Google Home app on our smartphone or tablet, such as an iPhone or an iPad. We also need a Google account, and we need this device plugged in. One of the other things I like to do is turn on the accessibility options. The accessibility options means every time I say something to Google, it beeps to let me know that it's listening to me. So I'm going to try a few things here now.
The mic's back on.
Hey Google, what can you do?
Here are some things you should try. You can say, "How many liters in a gallon?" or "What's the weather tomorrow?"
Okay, so she gives an example of a couple of things she can do. Hey Google, how do I set up the Google Nest Mini?
Here's a summary from the website review.com. How to set up the Google Nest Mini. 1. Plug it in. 2. Download the app. 3. Add your Mini to the Google Home app. 4. Connect the Google Nest Mini to Wi-Fi. And 5. Get to know your new smart speaker.
So there's a quick example of how to set it up. And anything that you can think of, you can ask the Google Nest Mini, as it is worked off of the Google search engine. So we could also ask it, "Hey Google, where do I find the accessibility options in the Google Nest Mini?"
I found 5 on the website google.com. Google Nest Display Accessibility Settings. Make sure your phone or tablet is connected to the same Wi-Fi network as your Nest display. Open the Google Home app. Tap your Nest display device. Scroll down to Device Settings, then tap Accessibility. And finally,
okay, so that's how you get to accessibility. So it's in the Home app, more settings, accessibility, then you turn beep sounds on. So every time I say Google, you can hear a beep sound. So that's what the accessibility is all about. I only have it set at the start sound. I don't set it at the end because I'm so used to using it. I don't need that. Okay, so what else can we do? We can set a reminder. Hey Google, set a reminder. Take my
what's
vitamins.
the reminder?
Take my vitamins every day at 9 a.m.
Sure, I'll remind you tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Great. Also, you can do loads of things, like you can play songs on this. You can play Google Play Books. So I'll just have really quickly, I'll do a couple of those little simple things. Hey Google, play Phil Collins.
Sure, check out this YouTube music station based on Phil Collins.
Okay Google, stop. We'll stop any copyright infringements getting done on us. Okay, Google, read me a story.
Okay, here's Snow White from Storynory on Google Play Books.
Snow White. A long time ago, when the snowflakes fell like feathers, a queen sat
Stop. So, as you can see, it uses Google Play Books. It's not connected to...
sewing at a window.
It's not connected to Audible as Amazon and Google don't speak. But so that's the only downside, I would say. So, what else can we do? It's great for things like it's connected to Google Maps, and in this times of isolation and social distancing, and we're also not allowed to walk more than 2k, so we can plan out our journey. So I'm going to try something like finding local landmarks that are approximately 2 kilometres away. So I'm going to try Callan Golf Club. Okay, Google, find Callan Golf Course.
Callan Golf Club is on Geraldine in Callan and is 1.8 kilometers away.
Great. Okay, Google, give me walking directions to Callan Golf Course.
The best way to get to Callan Golf Club on foot is via Mill Street R699 and will take about 33 minutes. I've sent the directions to your phone.
Great, that's another thing it does. It sends directions and links to your Google Home app, and you can open it in the Google Maps app on your phone. So we can move on now, and we will talk about radio and podcasts. It's brilliant for radio and podcasts. So first I'll try the radio. So, okay, Google, play Q102.
Streaming Dublin's Q102 FM from TuneIn.
Okay, Google, play RTE Radio 1.
Alright, here's RTE Radio 1 on TuneIn.
Blitz, the actual chief of staff of the IRA, Sean Russ.
And another good thing about playing radio stations is you can, on this device, you can pause and play. You can also rewind. So if you're interrupted, listen to something, you can rewind it a few seconds. Okay, Google, play BBC 5 Live.
Streaming BBC Radio 5 live from the BBC.
Sometimes a little bit slow.
Right, I want to talk about the other lesson session and domination. For you,
I use my hand to tap on the left hand side of the device, turn it down a bit.
80s, won 6 world titles and held the #1 ranking for 7 consecutive seasons. So, Formula 1 had 7.
Play for a few seconds.
Football was Liverpool.
Okay, Google, pause. As you can see, I paused it. I can also play it with my hand by tapping the top middle.
For the large part, Daily
So
Thompson
there it played.
Ed Moses won 107
okay, Google,
finals.
Rewind 10 seconds.
For the large part, Daily Thompson and Ed Moses.
There you see it rewinded. So that's radio basically.
Phenomenal.
Really good for radio and really easy. Okay, Google, stop.
Which list?
Okay, Google, stop playing the radio.
Sorry.
Achieving the levels of
okay, Google,
that you were.
Stop playing the radio. Great. It worked. As you can see, it's also not perfect. I will try and cover as much things as we can today. And if there's a demand for a part 2, I will do a second demo. But we're going to move on now, and we'll try podcasts. Okay, Google, play the Sight and Sound Technology podcast. I play a couple of blind-related technology
here's where
podcasts.
You stopped in Sight and Sound Technology podcast, episode 20, announcing our Braille Sense Polaris webinar.
Hi, this is Stuart Lawler. Welcome into another short Sight and Sound podcast. This is episode number 20. And
so that's a good friend of ours, Stuart Lawler. I'll show you how we can pause that. Okay, Google, pause. Also, another good thing about podcasts.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Wednesday.
Okay, Google, pause. Now, hopefully she stopped listening to me. Now, so a good thing about podcasts is it tells you what's coming up in the podcast, so you don't have to waste your time listening to things you're not interested in. You can also play the previous episode. Okay, Google, play the previous episode.
Episode of Sight and Sound Technology Podcast, Episode 19, COVID-19 Announcement.
Hello and welcome to the Sight and Sound Technology Podcast. My name is Stuart Lawler and this is episode number 19.
Okay, Google, play the previous episode.
Sight and Sound Technology Podcast, Episode 18, Introducing Will Marshall.
Hello and welcome into the Sight and Sound.
Okay, you get the idea. It's really easy. And you can also say next episode, and you can also fast forward through a podcast and rewind through a podcast by just giving the command to Google. So there's other blind related podcasts. I'll play one now for a second. Okay, Google, play Freedom Scientific Podcast.
Alright, here's where you left off in Freedom Scientific
podcast
FSCast 182, NFB President Mark Riccobono, and ACB President Dan Spoon on coping with COVID-19.
Area code 727-803.
There's a podcast for JAWS and Fusion and Zoom text, things like that. So that's really interesting, and they have interesting articles and tutorials on how to use JAWS. And if you're interested in finding out what the most popular podcasts are in Ireland and things like that, just ask Google. Okay, Google, what are the most popular podcasts in Ireland?
Podcast series frequently mentioned on the web include An Irishman Abroad, The Two Johnnies Podcast, Irish History Podcast, and others.
Okay, Google, what are the most popular podcasts in Ireland according to the Irish Times?
Sorry, I don't have any information.
Okay, we'll try something else. Okay, Google, what are the most popular gardening podcasts? Seeing as we're all at home trying a bit of gardening at the moment.
Alright, here are 10 podcasts to try. Let's start with Epic Gardening, daily growing tips and advice.
Okay, so you get the idea. You can ask it questions like that, and hopefully it'll come up with some results that will suit you, and you could try maybe what are the most popular educational podcasts, that kind of thing. Okay, we'll move on now to using Netflix. This is and YouTube. So what I did is I bought a Chromecast. Chromecasts are about €40. They're great devices. They almost turn your TV into a smart TV. So it connects brilliantly with the Google Nest Mini, and it's great if you're subscribed to the likes of Netflix, and it plays YouTube really well also. You can also cast from your laptop, and you can cast from your iPhone, play the RT player, for example, or the TV3 player. I think it's called Virgin Media Player now. So we're going to try and play a few things now and see how we get on. So, okay, Google, turn on the TV. So it should take a few seconds to turn the TV on. Now, great, so you can also control the volume and things like that from this device, because it's connected through HDMI, so it kind of takes over the TV when you activate it. So I'm going to try and play a fitness video. So we're all doing home workouts at the moment. Well, some of us anyway. And you need your hands free when you're doing a home workout. I'll try the NCBI home workout, see can you find it. Okay, Google, play Iona Fitness Video, Session 3 on YouTube.
Alright, here are some options, showing on Lonergan's TV. Which one would you like?
Number 1.
Sure, playing on Lonergan's TV.
Okay, week 2, so guys, for session 1, we're going to move on to some
Okay, Google,
extensions.
pause.
So Alex, what you're going to do is say again, back to the
So you see James Flanagan coming up on the screen, and he's given instruction on exercise to people that are visually impaired. If you wanted to pause it, you see, I just said, OK, Google, pause, and you can say, OK, Google, play, and you can also say, OK, Google, next episode. So, OK, Google, volume 50%.
So guys, session 3, week 2, we've learned how to reverse.
So James has a bit of country and western music there in the background. So I can OK Google, pause, and OK Google, play. So it's really easy, and you see it found something on the internet for us on YouTube fairly easy. If you give it the right name, it will more than likely find it. It obviously comes up with it's not perfect. OK Google, stop casting. So if you're interested in listening to or watching something else, like James isn't on every day, but there's another person very popular on YouTube at the moment, Joe Wicks, and I've heard a lot of people getting involved, and he's very good at describing exercises also. So I'm going to try Joe Wicks now. OK Google, play Joe Wicks Sweat Challenge, Day 8.
Okay, here are some options showing on Lonergan's TV. Which one would you like?
Cancel. OK
Which one
Google,
would you like?
play Joe Wicks Sweat Challenge, Day 7 on YouTube.
Sure, playing Joe Wicks Sweat Challenge Day 7 from YouTube on Lonergan's TV.
Good.
Welcome back to the Body Coach TV.
Great, the Body Coach TV comes on and you can hear Joe.
7 days of sweat challenge.
OK Google, volume 60%.
Today's session, we are going to have a rest.
So when I say Google's name, it slightly reduces the volume so it can hear me also. So I can go to the next episode, and I can also fast forward 20 minutes if I wanted to. OK Google, next episode.
Welcome back to the Body Coach TV. This video is designed specifically to cool you down after a HIIT session. Whether that's on a bike, a treadmill, bodyweight exercises, you're going to be tightening those muscles.
OK, we get the idea.
Really important we open up your jaw.
OK Google,
Flexible.
stop casting.
Really.
So as you can see, you could search for anything. You could look for, let's say, goals from football matches you might have been interested in the past, or if you're feeling nostalgic, you could look for reeling in the ears or something like that. So you could have hours of fun watching stuff back on YouTube, and it's very easy. So also this connects to Netflix. Netflix has become very popular because of the situation we're in at the moment. It was it was very popular before that, but it's got 15 million worldwide subscribers at the moment. So, and also the great thing about Netflix is it has audio description. So you have to go into the Netflix app, go into more settings, go into audio and subtitles, and turn on English audio description. So you'll probably hear the audio description coming on when I try to play something here. I'm going to try to play the most popular thing on Netflix at the moment, which is, OK Google, play Tiger King on Netflix.
Sure, Tiger King from Netflix. Playing on Lonergan's TV.
Hopefully now it'll start playing. So there it is, it played in the middle of an episode I was watching before. So we want to go back to the previous episode. OK Google, previous episode. Should hear the audio description coming on now.
I'm ready. I don't want to cut you off short. You guys are ready?
Okay. You can also fast forward. OK Google, fast forward 20 minutes. So as you can see, you have almost total control. Okay, Google, pause. So you can also play the films on Netflix. So if you're feeling nostalgic again, you can try something like, okay, Google, play Goodfellas on Netflix.
Alright, Goodfellas from Netflix. Playing on Lonergan's TV.
So there's Joe Pesci. That's great. So really easy again, as you can see. Works very fluid. So I'm going to stop it now. Okay, Google, turn off the TV. So another thing the Google Nest Mini is really good is at playing news. So for example, you can have your news set up in the Google Home app. You can subscribe to what type of news you're interested in. For example, RTE, sports news. Not much of that around at the moment. Technology news, that kind of thing. So I'll try something now. Hey Google, I want to listen to the news.
Here's the latest news. Continuing RTE news at 3:12 p.m. today.
For COVID-19 per week by the middle of next month. The current capacity is 10,000.
As you can hear, the news starts playing.
Plan is to be considered by government.
Okay, Google.
They're meeting there.
Next story.
Sorry, I don't understand.
This week, the chief executive of the HSE
Okay, Google.
outlined.
Next story.
The key issues for the executive.
Normally you're supposed to go to my next news item, which would be Tech Radar. I won't waste much more time on that, but we can go into it another time. I'll try another thing that's really good at is playing, I suppose, news about a specific subject. So, for example, okay, Google, give me news about Donald Trump.
CNN has this update. An aggrieved Trump blames press for furor over disinfectant comments. CNN, the furor over President Donald Trump's toxic suggestion that the coronavirus might be treated with an injection of disinfectant mounted Sunday as the president avoided the briefing room and one of his top medical advisors insisted his remarks were misinterpreted after several days in which state public health officials have rushed to issue urgent warnings to Americans about the dangers of ingesting disinfectant.
Just let this finish and let you hear what it says.
The White House coronavirus response coordinator sidestepped the opportunity to amplify that message Sunday. There were 2 other articles, which I've sent to your phone. Do you want to hear the first one?
No, thank you. Great, so as you can see, she said she'd sent 2 other articles to my phone, so if I felt like it, I could get them read out, or I could even ask to listen to them as well, just like the one before that. So you can ask for any subject you like and it'll find it from the Google search engine, which is great really. So, okay, what else can we do? So I've done the news. I'm going to move on now and talk about smart lighting. So smart lighting, why would we need smart lighting? Well, it can become really useful for lots of different reasons. Some people like different coloured lights in their room. Some people like to dim their lights. Also, certain vision impairments might like really bright lights or day simulation lights. You used to be able to buy day simulation light bulbs, which you can't anymore because the wattage is too high. But with the smart lights, you can get lights like that. Also, when you're away from your home, you can turn your lights on to ward off intruders, and people will think there's somebody in the house. You can turn them on maybe at 8 or 9 o'clock, stuff like that. So I'm going to try and I'll show you now how to turn the light on and off and change the colour. Okay, Google, turn family room light on.
Okay, turning smart light 1 on.
Great, hopefully you can see the lamp on the right hand side. Okay, Google, change family room light to blue.
Okay, changing smart light 1 to blue.
Okay, Google, dim family room light.
Sure, dimming smart light 1.
Okay, Google, put family room light at max brightness.
Sure, setting smart light 1 brightness to 100%.
Great. So also I can put it on daylight simulation. Okay, Google, put family room light to daylight simulation.
On the website Forbes.com.
Okay, Google, set smart light 1 to daylight simulation.
Okay,
there we go.
Changing smart light 1 to daylight.
Okay, great. So it's also easy, and it connects to your Google Home app via Bluetooth, so you don't have to go putting Wi-Fi passwords in or anything like that. So it's fairly easy set up, and it talks you through the steps, and you're allowed to give it a name. So, for example, what room it's in, family room, kids room, or whatever. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to mention was you can connect it to smart devices in your home, such as if you had a doorbell or a Hoover, or in my case I have a washing machine. So okay, Google, turn on the washing machine.
Okay, starting the washer.
So you might have heard a slight beep in the background. The washing machine went on. There's loads of other things you can do with the washing machine, but I can go into them another day. You can go into the Samsung app on your phone and go through all the different cycles and set the temperature, all that kind of stuff. Okay, Google, stop the washing machine.
Okay, stopping the washer.
Great. So the next thing I want to talk about is recipes. Recipes, as you know, when you're in the kitchen, if you have a poor eyesight, you can't read your step-by-step instructions off of a piece of paper, or you can't read cookbooks. So the Google Assistant is great like that. I think that's why they call it the assistant. It really is an assistant when it comes to the kitchen. So it can give you step-by-step instructions of what to do and while you're doing them. So I'm going to ask for a recipe, and I don't have time to go through the whole lot, but I will skip to the step where the timer is, and hopefully it'll give a good example of what we can do. Okay, Google, give me a recipe for a roast chicken.
Got it. I've got a recipe called Classic Roast Chicken and Gravy from BBC Good Food. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Great. Would you like to start with ingredients or instructions?
Instructions, please.
There are 15 steps. I'll read them one by one. When you're ready to hear more,
Well,
you can say next step. First step, heat oven to 190 degrees Celsius, fan 170 degrees Celsius, gas 5.
Okay, Google. Next step.
Second step, have a shelf ready in the middle of the oven without any shelves above it.
Okay, Google. Skip to step 5.
Sit the chicken on the vegetables, smother the breast and legs all over with 25 grams softened butter, then season the outside with salt and pepper.
Okay, Google. Next step.
Place in the oven and leave, undisturbed, for 1 hour 20 minutes.
Okay, Google. Set the timer for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Okay, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Starting now.
Great. So that was easy, and it led on to the timer, which is good also. So you can imagine how that would help you in the kitchen. And you don't have to be on the ball or listening all the time. You just ask Google, give you the next step, as you can see. So it does. It sinks in with the time, or how quick or how slow you are at cooking and preparing your food. So that's getting a recipe. You see that is really easy. If you want to practice any of the things that I have showed you today in the demonstration, you can download the Google Assistant app on your phone, and you can practice most of the things we've done today. So you can get the Google Assistant app from the App Store or the Google Play Store, and all you need is a Google account to sign in. Okay, I will leave you with one final thing. Google can do fun things also, like it can, in these times it has this little fun thing you can do with your kids maybe. Okay, Google, help me wash my hands.
Wash your hands for 40 seconds, please. Soap will chase the germs away so you don't cough and sneeze. Lather up your hands about a half a minute more. Get in between each finger, you can never be too sure. Clean, clean, clean your hands, and if you're getting bored, remember, friend, that in the end, good health is your reward.
Okay, brilliant. So you can see how it can be a bit of fun. That's great, and thank you very much for watching and listening. If you have any questions, you can email labs@ncbi.ie, and we're also here to support you in setting up the device. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Joe. Now, if you want to check out more interviews and how-to videos and even discussion about current technology, just look for the NCBI channel and be sure to subscribe if you enjoy these videos. But for now, until next time, this is NCBI Labs.